You may have heard that Alex Hormozi recently made his largest ever investment into a company called Skool. Skool is owned by Sam Ovens, and it allows anyone to create and monetize their own community online. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the exact strategy Hormozi and Sam Ovens are using to grow Skool. We're going to be breaking down the Facebook ads that Hormozi is running right now, the offer, the psychology behind the strategy itself, and ultimately how you can apply everything to your business. So let's dive in. So before we dive into the ads, I want to begin by explaining the strategy Hormozi and Sam Ovens are using and why it works so well. So the strategy is based off the Skool games, right? And what the Skool games is it's a competition where Skool community builders compete against each other to win prizes, right? There's a leaderboard and it's based on the growth that your community has, right? So you're encouraged to start a community, build a community, monetize it, and there are leaderboards. If you are in the top 10 of the leaderboard, then you win certain prizes, okay? So that is the concept. Now, there are 4 categories I've split out here, and I want to go through each one by one. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to zoom in to each one, and I'll explain them. So the first one is the offer itself. Now, if you've been following Hormozi for a while, you'll know that he is very strong on the offer itself, meaning the offer needs to be constructed in a way where it is too good to say no. So the offer is broken down into a few different parts. First of all, by participating in the Skool games, you're going to get free education from Alex Hormozi, who will show you exactly how to start and build, monetize your community online. Okay, so that's the first part, is you're getting something for free. The second thing is there's a lot of potential upside, right? You can be flown out to Vegas to meet Hormozi if you're in the top 10 of the leaderboard. And this is on a monthly basis, right? So even if you don't win in February, you have the opportunity to do it again in March, then in April, May, and so on, right? So the potential upside here is huge. And, you know, in the process, you have the potential to build a business and make money, right? So there's all these different elements that come together to make a really strong offer. It's also free to start, right? So you don't even have to pay, you know, for the first 14 days in your trial to really start and see what it's like, test it out. Okay, so that is the first thing right here. Now, moving to the second part is the fact that the concept of the Skool games is based around 2 principles that I want to discuss. The first one is gamification, and gamification is when you are making something into a game, right? So the Skool games itself, like it's framed as a game, it is a game. And the second one is competition. And the reason why competition is a crucial one is because humans, like psychology, our brains, our DNA, we are wired to compete against each other, right? We are wired to want to beat up humans. We want to compete and win. We want to compare ourselves to others. We want to know that we're doing better. So the Skool games is wired into this, right? And, you know, the fact that there's leaderboards, that there are prizes, that, you know, there are levels, right, to level up, it feels like a video game. And it basically is a real life video game where you can actually make money and build a business. So this is a really important point to think about, because they are basing this on a concept that is not only going to get humans interested in playing the game, but also continuing to play the game, right? So if you think of video games, like they do 2 things. They get, you know, someone in to start playing the game. And then the second thing, in terms of like how good the game actually is and what constitutes the game actually surviving in the marketplace, is the usability of the game. So how often and how long do users play the game, and how often do they come back? Is it like every day they come back and play the game, right? Is it once every week? So that is also wired into this as well. So really, really important to think about. Now, the third thing is, because of the offer being so strong and because it's being framed as a game, this is going to allow Skool to achieve 2 things. Low cost acquisition. So acquisition being they're acquiring new community builders onto the platform. And the second thing is retention. And we'll start with explaining acquisition, then we'll go into retention. So acquisition, the strong offer and the fact that it's being pushed by Hormozi, that's going to lead to a low cost of user acquisition, right? They're running ads. The cost of getting a community builder onto the platform is going to be pretty low. And, you know, this is a huge thing that, you know, if you own a business, if you run a business, the cost of acquiring new customers is going up, and that is very, very difficult to combat, right? So them doing this offer, this whole concept of Skool games, is they're playing in a different league because they're not playing the same game as everyone else, where they're trying to acquire customers against rising CACs and rising CPMs, ad costs. So that's one thing. They're acquiring users at a low cost. And then within the process, they are helping those users get the most out of their platform by helping them build the community and their business on the platform itself. And this is leading directly into retention. Retention is the number of people and how well your business is at keeping people in the business, right? The opposite of retention is basically someone coming in and leaving straight away and no longer using the product or using the platform, okay? So by helping users build their businesses and communities on the platform, it's very unlikely for them to leave, right? Because even if they don't build, a business that ends up in the top 10 and they don't actually receive any of the upside prizes, they are probably still making some money on the platform. They've proven the concept to themselves. They have a community of a few members, right? And because of that, why would they ever leave and take their community elsewhere, right? There is no reason for them to do that. And that is why this is such a great play by Hormozi and others, because they understand that, okay, we need something to get users onto the platform, right? So they have a crazy offer. Then they understand, well, we need users, like the whole thing that's going to make Skool successful is the community builders staying on the platform, right? So they need to be able to incentivize them to actually get them off the ground and build successful communities that will allow them to stay, okay? So when the retention of a business is high, the monthly recurring revenue of that business grows and the business value also grows as well, right? So if they want to sell this business in the future, investors, buyers are going to be looking at the recurring revenue, right? And that is going to compound very, very fast over time. And the retention and the monthly recurring revenue and business value is something that you need to look at your own business, right? Now, when we work with clients, we're always looking at returning customer rate because we work with e-commerce brands, and the nature of the e-commerce business is it's a very leaky bucket, meaning you're acquiring customers, but a lot of those customers are going to purchase once and never come back, right? That is the majority. Like the average returning customer rate for an e-commerce business is 15 to 20%, right? What we want to do is we want to increase that returning customer rate more to like 25, 30, 35%. And you can do that through a multiple different ways. We won't dive deep into that in this video, but it's really important to think about that, because if you're paying to acquire a customer, you want to get the most out of that customer, meaning you don't just want them to buy one time. You want them to buy multiple times, and you want them to spend more money as well, right? So you don't just want them to buy more of the same product. You want them to buy different products. You want them to buy more expensive products. And that is what's going to allow you to increase the LTV of that customer, right? Now, another thing that we've seen with our clients is clients that have subscription models, meaning if you have a product that is a consumable or something that someone will need replaced every few months, or it doesn't matter the time frame, they will just need it to be replaced. You can set up a subscription program where you give customers certain benefits to subscribe and save. And what that's going to do is it's going to compound your monthly recurring revenue over time. And that compounds very, very fast, right? So really, really important to think about, especially if you're looking to sell your business in the future, you need to be looking at your monthly recurring revenue. You need to be looking at subscribers. You need to be looking at retention, your churn. All these things are really, really important, okay? So that is the third point. And moving into the fourth and final point is the positive flywheel.
This thing is really what made Amazon good.
Let's start with explaining what a flywheel is, okay? So a flywheel is when you add more volume or you make or change something in some part of the business. How does that impact the other parts of the business, right? Usually everything is connected, right? If you change one thing in the business, it's going to impact the other things in the business, and it's like a domino effect, right? But there are two types of flywheels, positive and negative flywheels. And this is what Sam Ovens talks about. So a positive flywheel is when you make a change, and every time you make a change and it feeds into the next part of the business, it improves the process, right? It makes the user experience better. It makes it better for the builders on the platform. And that every time it does a round, every time it cycles, it gets faster and faster and faster. That's positive flywheel, right? A negative flywheel is if you were to change something in the business and that actually makes the next thing worse, right? And it gets worse and worse and worse. An example of that could be, if you have let's just take my agency, for example, right? The whole philosophy of our agency is we only work with a handful of clients because we offer a very customized, done-for-you service. And what that means is that if we were to work with 100 clients, what do you think is going to happen to the customer experience, right? We're going to have less time to spend on each client. The client performance is going to be worse. The client experience is going to be worse. More clients are going to leave. You can see how just by adding more load in terms of this example, more clients, things get worse, right? So we understand that, and that is why we structure our agency done for you in a specific way where we're working with a very, very small number of clients, and our team is very, very focused on those clients, and they never spread too thin. So that's just an example of how something could be a negative flywheel, but we make it a positive flywheel because we limit the capacity, right? And what Skool are doing is they're creating a positive flywheel, and it's very, very similar to Facebook. And just to give you a visual, I created this lovely diagram here. This is the visual of the flywheel, right? So you start with something in the process. In this case for Skool, it's more community builders, more people coming on and actually creating communities that users can be a part of. So if you have more community builders on the platform, what does that do, right? What is the next thing that happens? Well, there's more choice for the user, right? If you only have 10 communities to choose from on the whole platform, there's not a lot of choice for the user. You're not going to be very good at attracting users onto Skool, right? So if you have more community builders, more choice for the user, and if the user has more choice, then the usage of the platform is going to increase, right? Not only are users going to spend more time on the platform, it's also going to attract more users onto Skool, right? Who are joining more communities, and community builders are going to see that, right? And that is going to mean that more community builders are going to come onto the platform. And what happens when more community builders come onto the platform? The whole process repeats itself. And every time it gets better and better and better because there is more choice for the user. More choice leads to more usage. The user experience gets better and better and better. The community builders are forced to elevate the quality of the communities because the competition is increasing. And that, again, leads to a better experience for the user, and so on and so forth. And you see how this starts to get faster and faster and faster for every cycle. Everything feeds into itself, into the next part, to create a positive flywheel. Now, the reason why this is very similar to Facebook is because in the early days of Facebook, when no one was using the platform, it was pretty pointless, right? Like, if I was the second user ever on Facebook, like, there's no one for me to message, there's no one for me to see updates from, like, it's pretty pointless, right? But if I invite more users onto the platform, and all of a sudden, instead of 2 users, I have 200 friends. Now all of a sudden I can see updates from a lot more people. I can message a lot more people. I can update a lot more other people on my life, right? I can create a group on Facebook, a page on Facebook to maybe start selling my business services or my products. So you can see how the Facebook platform is very, very similar. And I think Hormozi'S and Hormozi are building Skool and building the flywheel in the same way that Facebook did, right? Because the more Facebook users, the better it is for more people want to be on the platform because more people are on it, right? And the usage increases, which means it attracts more people. And the more people that are attracted, the more advertisers want to spend money to advertise to those users, right? There's a lot of things that impact each other. So all this leads to exponential growth, right? Sam Evans talks about the concept of linear versus exponential growth. Hormozi actually talks about it as well. Most businesses, their growth is linear, meaning, it's standard, right? You put $1 in, you get $2 out, and it never really changes. Exponential growth is when you put $1 in, but you get $100 back, right? And the reason why some companies achieve exponential growth is because of the positive flywheel, right? So those are the 4 categories here that I wanted to go through. Now that we've done this and I've explained the strategy, and by the way, just on this last one, the positive flywheel, you should also be thinking about how you can apply this positive flywheel in your own business, right? Think about schools, think about Facebook's, look at other businesses, understand whether they have a positive or negative flywheel, and see how you can improve that in your own business. Okay. So now that we've gone through this, let's look through the ads, okay? So I'm just gonna jump over to Alex Hormozi'S Facebook ad library here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna watch some of these ads together. Once we watch them, I'm gonna break down what the ad is, how it's structured, why it works, and how you can apply it to your own business, okay? So let's start with watching this one here.
The rumors are true, the school games are here, but we're gonna help you build a business in 30 days, absolutely free, using one platform that we're giving to you. I'll be taking you step by step through how to build a community around an existing business or how to start a community from scratch so you can launch a product or monetize the community itself. And the top 10 people who build the large communities in that 30-day period can be flying you out to my headquarters in Vegas to spend a full day with us here to help you scale your business from where it is to wherever you want to go. I'll see you on the other side.
So just to begin with, this ad is known as a direct offer ad, right? You can see that Hormozi gets straight into the offer and straight into Skool, and there's kind of no, like, they're not starting with, you facing this problem and then introducing Skool as a solution. They're getting straight to the offer. And the important thing to note is that this direct offer ad, it doesn't usually work. And that's because most offers out there aren't strong enough to support this kind of ad, right? So if you're thinking of doing a direct offer ad, it needs, the offer itself needs to be really, really strong, right? And I do have another video that kind of breaks down Alex Hormozi'S offer structures and looks at his past ads, landing pages. I'll link those below, but it's important that you do have a very strong offer set up if you want to support this style of ad, okay? Now, let's watch a few more videos, and then let's kind of break down the differences between them.
This is a bet, and I want to start your bet to help you build a business absolutely free in the next 30 days on Skool. You might be wondering, why am I wearing a Skool shirt? Well, I just became a largest investor at Skool, and the reason I did that is because out of the many, many different businesses that I've looked at, this one was one of the most exciting for how easy it made it for people to start businesses on the internet by taking the ideas that they have and building communities around them so they can both provide value and monetize the value that they create, all in one platform. That I'd integrate with anything else. And as an added little incentive to get you off the butt in this new year, I'm going to be flying out to people who build the biggest businesses in the first 30 days to my headquarters, the top 10 people, absolutely free. We can spend a day helping you build your business and scale even more in a minute. If that sounds at all interesting, click the link, follow the steps, and I'll see you in the school years.
So you can actually see with this ad, the offer itself, right? You can see what the Skool games are, why it interests the user, right? You always have to talk about what's in it for the user, right? You build your business, start making money from it, and then also have the opportunity to be flown out to Vegas to meet Hormozi in person, and also him help you grow your business further, okay? So you can actually see the offer in practice here. So hopefully that kind of ties everything together from the strategy we were talking about previously. Let's just watch a few more of these ads, and then we'll kind of dive a little bit deeper.
I don't see your name on the invite list for the Skool games. We'll help you build a business for free on Skool so you can create and monetize a community all in one place at no cost. And so if that sounds all interesting, I will lead you through it step by step. And the top 10 schools that get built in the next 30 days, we're going to fly you out to our headquarters in Vegas. We're going to take a full day, help you scale your community from wherever it is to wherever you want to go. Click the link to join. I'll see you on the other side. That's weird. Someone helps you build a business in 30 days, and it's monetized, and it's absolutely free. Hold on, I got to tell these guys. So, to commemorate that I just became the largest investor in Skool, we're running 10 days. It's a 30-day challenge to help you build a business or build a community around your existing business. Either or. And I'll walk you through step by step how we built our community of Hormozi Nation and how you can do the same in that time period. And so if that sounds interesting, besides the fact that it's already free, and the phone call you already got for future you, click the link, join the games, and I'll see you on the other side.
So every one of these ads is a direct offer ad. There's slight differences in terms of the way that the offer starts, maybe the explanation itself, but the same message is getting put across. The only difference between all these ads is the opening 3 to 5 seconds. And that's called the hook, right? The hook is designed to hook someone in to watch the rest of your ad. And the reason why it's important is because as you're trying to get people to stop scrolling and listen to you, it's very, very difficult to do that if the opening few seconds of the video doesn't pique their attention to get them to watch the rest, okay? So it's really important, to look at your own ads, to test different hooks, right? And if we just watch a few more of these videos, you'll see that each one of these videos has a different opening 3 to 5 seconds.
When you're 85 years old on your deathbed, you're not going to wish you had fewer crazy stories. So let me introduce you to the Skool game.
Okay, so a different hook there.
Would you like me to help you build a business in 30 days? Absolutely not. If so, keep listening. I just became the biggest outside investor in Skool.
Different hook there.
And then was it trail?
Is it the same one?
You might be wondering why I just caught a banana. It's because the amount of value they're about to give you in the next 30 seconds is bananas. So I just gave the largest investment.
So different opening 3 to 5 seconds, right? They're trying to hook different users in. And the reason why it's important to test multiple hooks in your ads is because you just don't know what's going to work, right? You don't know what's going to hook people in more than something else, right? So it is important to test a handful of hooks, maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 different hooks per ad concept. And what you'll find is that there will be most likely one of those ads, one of those hooks that beats the rest, right? And you would never have known that that hook was the winner if you had never tested it. Maybe you only tested like 2 hooks, right? But maybe the concept of the ad itself works really well, but just the opening 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds is not good enough to actually get people to watch the rest of the video. So important to test different hooks. All you have to do is change the opening 3 to 5 seconds, right? Brainstorm, think about what are different things you can do or say that will pique people's attention, right? As we've seen here from Hormozi'S examples, like catching a banana, like it's a weird thing. It stops the scroll for a moment, and then it buys you some time to introduce whatever you're trying to sell, right? So that's important there. What I will mention is that you want to make sure you can still connect the hook that you're using to the rest of the content, right? Because if not, and you're just doing something crazy just to get attention, then you're probably going to get the attention of the wrong viewers, right? So you're probably going to get a bunch of clicks from people who are never going to purchase your service or product anyway. But also, if it's bait and people start watching the rest of the video, they realize that it was just bait and they're going to just scroll past and not click, right? So it's important that you relate it. That's just what I would say on hooks, right? So you have tested a bunch of different hooks. Maybe you found one that is working really, really well. The easiest way to replicate that performance and iterate is to take the same ad concept and create even more hooks from it, right? So let's just say you have one that's working really well. Maybe you create 2 or 3 more and test those as new ads. And then maybe then you can find another one that works really well, right? So that's just another way to create iterations and replicate that performance. So that is all for this video. If you liked this video and you want to see me break down the sales page, the landing page that Hormozi is driving traffic to for the Skool games, leave a comment below and I'll record that video. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.